Pisces Tarot, and I am your host, Mimi the Light Seer. Your business is my business. Today, we will dive into your business with a timeless relationship reading, which means it could be platonic, professional, or romantic. In this session, we will explore the overall energy of your reading, obtain cosmic insights to identify the topics, spill the tea on the energies involved, uncover the positives and the negatives while revealing the lessons that you need to learn, and suggest actions for healings and the best possible outcomes. Remember, this is a general reading, and you have found it when this message is needed. Please take what resonates and leave the rest. Remember, I am LGBTQ plus friendly, using pronouns for storytelling purposes. Lastly, please like, rate, subscribe, and comment, and let me know how this message is connecting with you. And without further ado, let's get into your business. Welcome. Happy Friday. Welcome, everybody. Come on in. Good morning. Welcome to Pisces Tarot. I am your host. I am Mimi the Light Seer over here at Pisces Tarot. Your business is my business. And ooh, child, we about to get into somebody's business. Come on in. Welcome. Come on in. We are going to get into this fine Friday business. And I am so excited for this, okay? So I want to say good morning to all of my guppies, my friends who are on the graveyard shift, and good evening to my international family, y'all. If you are new to the Pisces Tarot experience, go ahead and put a star in the chat. If you are a returning guest, go ahead and put a fish in the chat, okay? Listen. It's like church, okay? When you come around here, we want to recognize all of our new and returning friends, okay? So, hey, everybody. Hey, this morning we are live across TikTok as well as YouTube. So if you have not had the opportunity to go ahead and follow me yet on YouTube, please go ahead and do so. Okay. Now, welcome. Good morning. Yes, good morning. Now, before we get started, let's go ahead and set our intentions by taking a deep breath in for 3 seconds, holding it for 3 seconds, and then releasing it for 3 seconds. Let's do that 3 times so that we can make sure that we're level setting our energy for today for the reading. So again, just take a deep breath in, hold it for 3 seconds, release it for 3 seconds, okay? We're going to do that 3 times just to make sure that we are clear and we are level set for the reading. Here we go with these eyes itching, right? All right, here we go. All right, guys. Yes. Good morning. Well, guys, get ready for an interactive experience. I'll talk to you, so please talk back. Go ahead and find your emojis, y'all, because I definitely want to be able to hear from you and to engage with you as we go along this journey. Now, as I do my readings, okay, I am going to share with you first a cosmic insight or a download, some type of insight that I've gathered on my way here. I'm then going to clarify with the overall oracle card readings and followed by tarot card readings. Okay, so I'm going to validate everything that I'm telling you through this reading. So I promise you, everything has something to do with something. Okay, everything has something to do with something. So with that being said, without further ado, go ahead and get those hand clapping emojis going, because I definitely want to be able to tap into this reading, y'all, because I mean, I slept wonderfully, but I will tell you, I woke up this morning and I started hearing this song and I was like, why am I hearing this song? Why? It's 3:05 a.m. Why am I hearing this song? Okay? So, if y'all ready to get into this energy reading, let's go ahead and get those hand clapping emojis and let's go ahead and get started because I don't want to hold off and delay any longer. All right, here we go. So, the first thing that I want to start off this reading is talking about just how you got to be very intentional. Okay, you got to be very intentional with where you're placing your energy. And I'm saying that specifically because I am in the process of releasing things that no longer serves me. And I know that we say this in just all the time, how we're supposed to release those things that are not serving you. And oftentimes that becomes very much so easier said than done. And so over New Year's, I went to go through the motions of having a cord cutting ceremony done, because I just decided that I did not want to take energy with me into this year that didn't have a purpose and that it wasn't meaningful. And I feel as though I have allowed individuals space and opportunity to continue to come in and to continue to take up space in my life that they don't deserve. And really taking an extra step to ensure that I am being purposeful in how I show up for me as it pertains to self-love. So with that being said, I failed a test earlier where, yes, I'm cold in the house, okay? I failed a test because I went through the exercise of doing this, and then I kind of found myself opening up the door again to somebody just out of curiosity. Like, what do you want? Curiosity, right? And so my point in sharing that is that I feel strongly as though I wasn't being intentional in how I was participating, right? Because it's like, okay, you're just being curious, but if you're being intentional and you're saying that you're asking for this same energy to be given unto you, then that means that you can't just be doing things yourself just to be doing things. And so I started to ask myself, like, if being curious is a form of not being intentional. And so I share that with you because if you're intentional, in my opinion, then you should have a certainty, not an uncertainty. And I feel like when you're being curious, you create uncertainty to linger. And so, good morning. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't want to give any credence to anybody who is not necessarily deserving of my time and my attention. And so I went to bed last night. With that being said, I went to bed last night being a little bit discouraged about it because it was like I was doing what I tell y'all not to do. I was asking somebody to basically deceive me or, disappoint me again, right? And so that's the backstory to how I probably woke up listening to this song. But anyway, I woke up this morning. Before I could even stretch my toes real good, I heard this song in my ear playing. The song is by Tyra B. It came out in 2005, okay? And when I tell you I love this song, still to this day, this song goes off. But it's called Still in Love, okay? And it's interesting because when you listen to the words and you be intentional about processing what the song is about, it's very obvious that she's regretful that she had an affair or cheated on her person, right? But that's not how I hear it, right? How I hear it is where she goes, Because I'm still in love, still in love, still in love, okay? So the point of the song that I want to focus on is the chorus where she goes, everything has changed. Will it always? And I know that it's all my fault. One night of pleasure really cost me. I'm the one so wrong this time. The tables have turned. I found a really good man. Now I gotta let it burn because I'm still in love. Okay. So apparently this particular individual has experienced some trials and tribulations in the relationship that made this individual feel insecure. And she thought that getting back at this person was doing the same things that this person has done to her. And that's where I kind of like was dealing with, if I'm being honest, checking myself about the situation, because it's like, okay, why go through the exercise of trying to clear yourself of these energies if you still entertain it? And that's where it's like, if you're entertaining something, are you exactly being intentional about it? If you're entertaining it, but you understand that you're not focused on it, you're just curious. Okay? And so I want to get into a space where it's like, no, I'm certain about what it is that I'm doing, and I'm going to be very intentional about what I'm doing. So that's how we're here this morning. Okay? So like, I got the Earworm, Still in Love by Tyra B. I would love to play the clip for you, but I cannot because I get flagged for things like that. So I would just tell you to look it up. It's Tyra B's Still in Love, okay? It's a very catchy song, you know, very, very catchy song. But I'm hearing her say in my ear as I open up my eyes, 'cause I'm still in love. Now, y'all know I can't sing, but I'm gonna sing a tune. I'm gonna sing a tune, okay? So that's what's going on, okay? Recognizing and coming to the conclusion that no matter what you're doing, you're still in love with somebody who may not always feel that same way about you, okay? And how do you respond when you put yourself in a position where it's like, I recognize that I am still in love with somebody who does not have that same sentiment that they, good morning, that they don't have the same sentiment that they can share to you, towards you, right? And it's one of those things. It's Still in Love by Tyra B. It came out in 2005, okay? It's called Still in Love by Tyra B. Let me see if I could play like a quick snippet, but it probably will be Grand Rising Evelyn. It would likely be right in the middle of the song where it's not going to make much sense. So I can only play like a little quick piece of it so I don't get in trouble, okay? Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3.
Trust me, babe, but now, no.
Okay, that's it. All right. So I heard this very distinctively this morning when I woke up. And I knew that this was, hey. I knew that this had something to do with me. Like, I knew that this was a me thing, right? Because I ain't gonna lie to you, I was a little bit, like, okay, this is kind of crazy. Like, I knew that was me. So anyway, if y'all are ready to get into this reading, okay, I need y'all to find y'all drums, find your drums, because I feel like this is going to be first of all, we got to be careful before I move forward. Let me tell y'all this. You have Pisces, Venus in Pisces, which is going to be causing a lot of interesting energy, okay? Venus just went into Pisces today, okay? When I tell you, this is going to be creating a lot of fantasies, all right? This is going to be how you love, okay? So this is going to make things feel very mystical to you. And it's going to talk you out of, like, the things that you know to do better. And that's where it's like, okay, don't fall for the okie doke, all right? But I feel like I set myself up for this just by what? Entertaining it. So anyway, if y'all ready for this reading, go ahead and put in the chat your drums. Find your drums and hit them in the chat so we can go ahead and get into this energy reading, because I'm telling you, I know that this is a me problem. This is a me problem, okay? So let's go ahead and get into this energy reading and find out what the card says, and hopefully this aligns with you as well and can be relatable to you also, because I feel like there's going to be a whole lot of this nonsense going on in the upcoming days, all right? So let's get into it, shall we? All right, here we go. So Spirit, for the harm of none and the benefit of all, show us great and mighty things, gives us signs and clues about what could be going on in the collective today. Amen, amen, amen. And how do you let go of somebody that you know that is not good for you? Is the real question. Because I feel like I kind of know that this person just definitely does not have good intentions. And for some reason, like, I'm always captivated into going back and being curious and not spinning a block in 2025. That's for sure. Good morning, Audrey. Welcome. But, you know, like I said, I was curious. So I know that earworm was about me. You know, I know that was about me. All right, here we go. Ooh. I'm still in love, 'cause I've been... I know the tea is hot, right? I had to put on my Spill the t-shirt. I mean, you can ask God for help, but, you know, the thing is that I think when we say that, we dismiss the agony that goes with things, right? And the reason why I say that too is because that was proven, you know, when, not trying to point to religion, but from my belief standpoint, when Jesus was down on the cross and he asked for that thing to be removed from him, and it wasn't removed. So if Jesus could be down on the cross and he felt that thorn in his side, you know, obviously that can happen to you too as well, right? So it's not just limited to asking God for that help, even though he can do exceedingly above all that we could ask or think. The point is, when you have lessons that you got to learn, it's not as simple as asking them things to be removed from you. Okay. All right. Divine matrix. Divine matrix. Divine matrix. All right. Hello. Good morning. So we got the divine matrix going on. All right. And what's interesting about this card is, I don't know if you see the face on this card, but there's definitely like a face, like a head on this card. Okay. And then you see at the top of the crown, what will be the crown chakra, you see the matrix opening up and you see all the colors here, right? This is overthinking and being inside your head. Okay, this is definitely overthinking and being inside your head. This is your thoughts, the opening of your hearts and how you are perceiving it, the ideas that you give credence to, that bloom, that run wild, that open up the door. Like the imagination is what's at stake here, right? And the imagination is really what deceives people or encourages you. Good morning, Elizabeth. So, you know, it really gets to being one of those things where it's like you have to be careful about what you give thought to. Which is why the good book says protect your heart with all diligence, because out of it flows the issues of life, right? The moment you open up your mind to the possibility, that's how I told you I just got sucked in. Gotta stop overthinking. Gotta stop overthinking. you know, you have to be present. And so again, I'm not saying that God can't do it, you know, but when you think about it in perspective, if his only son was dying on a cross and he wouldn't remove that thing that was plaguing him, what makes you think he gonna do it for you? Because it clearly says he ain't a respecter of persons. So, you know, that's where your free will comes in. And you have to be able to know when you got to walk away and turn it off. And I'm going to finish what I started. I'm going to be intentional about it. I can't get excited. I think it's cute. It is a mind game that I feel like this person is playing with me. That's not what I'm saying to you at all, Belinda. I think you're misunderstanding the point that I was making. And that's that it's not the same thing. Yeah, it's not the same thing. You're taking what I'm saying out of context. And I really don't want to elaborate further because I don't want to go down the wrong path, and I don't want this to become a biblical conversation out of respect for everybody else's views that are, you know, that may be present. You are right in that aspect of what you said, but that's not what I'm talking about. And I'm just going to I'm just going to bookmark that, what you're saying, with this. If he wouldn't do it for a person who was sinless, okay? So a person who was without sin, then why would he do it for somebody that has sin, right? Even though I believe all my sins are forgiven, think about it. If he's not a respecter of persons and Jesus was crying out on a cross asking for this thing that was paining him and plaguing him to be removed from him, and he did not do it because it was his will for him to suffer, to go through this for us, to remove our sins, right? Then why would he remove it from me? It could be his plan that I learn my lesson. You understand? So that's all I'm saying, right? Again, I'm not saying he can't do it, because clearly I believe that he can do exceedingly above all that I could ask or think. He can do whatever he want to do. But just referencing that instance where you had a person who was without sin, who was troubled, and still didn't get the relief or the removal of that thing that was plaguing them. That's all I'm saying. All right, here we go. So what is the truth that we need to know right now for our soul's journey? What is the truth that we need to know right now for our soul's journey? Thank you, little bit. Empathy. I'm open to hearing both sides of a situation. So empathy, okay? Empathy is coming up. And again, I feel as though when you go through the motions of opening up yourself to hearing, right? So I'll be honest. Part of the reason why I am curious about that situation was because I'm leading from a space of empathy, whereas I need to be in a space of I don't care, period. I don't care. That's something that's not it's something that is not who I am. As a person, that's something that's not who I am. As a person, I am one who, I have soft spots for people, right? And I'm not one who's very apathetic. And so for me, the empathy within me causes me to be curious about things that I probably should not be curious about. Okay? And so I would just say to that point, when you're leading with empathy and you're willing to hear both sides of the situation, you got to know that empathy is going to cause you to start putting things in your mind that may be dangerous for you in the long run. Okay. And if you're in a place where you're trying to shake these things off, you cannot be open. You got to close the gateway altogether. That's why, you know, again, we're told to watch what you put in your ears and your eyes, because those are gateways, right? So if you're trying to shut something down, you can't be open to it. You can't be partial. You can't be curious. The door cannot be open at all. You got to be closed, right? And so empathy can be dangerous if you don't watch how you're receiving it. Okay? Yes, everybody should lead with empathy and put themselves in somebody else's shoes, but empathy can also be empathy could also, how do I word this? Leading with empathy could also be detrimental. Okay? Because empathy can create you to be naive. Okay? Being empathetic can create naiveness. And it makes you the fool a lot of times in situations, okay? So you got to be careful about how you're subjecting yourselves to things, right? Which then in return causes overthinking, okay? And in that instance, I could be overthinking. You know, I really could be overthinking. I really could be, I could be a lot of things. Okay? But I need to be intentional about where I'm giving my time and my attention. Okay? And that's something that I'm going to have to keep fighting to successfully master in 2025. All right? All right, so how is this showing up for us in our lives? How is this showing up in our lives? How is this showing up in our lives? Okay, how is this showing up in our lives? Daydreaming. I told y'all a little bit, you're right. Daydreaming. Okay? So, yeah, you over here leading with empathy, you getting sucked in. Now you're caught up in a divine matrix that you can't get out of. Okay, you over here daydreaming. Now, I can't help but to notice that she has on a yellow shirt. So that tells me that's that enthusiasm, that's positivity, okay? So a lot of you are desiring or could be desiring things that are not necessarily fruitful. You know, not necessarily fruitful. And, you know, matters of the heart is never going to be an easy thing. The matters of the heart is never going to be an easy thing. It's very easy to get conflicted. It's very easy to get caught up. It's very easy to remain open and to be curious about things because that's what it is. I mean, if you even think about it, the whole construct about the snake in the garden, right? That is, you know, she was deceived out of curiosity. She was pulled in. All it took was a subtle suggestion, and that turned into, well, did he really say this, that, and the third, right? And that's how you get into the mind. So you got to protect the gateway to your mind and the gateway to your heart. I guess that's the real insight, right? Protect the gateway to your mind, protect the gateway into your heart. Make sure that you're not overthinking about things, making sure that you're just, you know, even though you are open to listening to things from both sides, be mindful. Good morning, T. When you say that you're open to something, be mindful. What exactly does that mean? You know, shut down the door of remaining curious about things that may not be serving you. Okay? Shut it down. You know, shut it down. I know that's not ideal. I know that we all want love. I know that we all want, you know, we all want the return of the person that we thought we lost, and we all are, you know, interested in that connection. But what I will say is, be careful about the thoughts that you're feeding yourself, because you are feeding into your own delusion, and you can't blame that on somebody else. And the one thing that I'm telling you specifically about is Venus being inside of Pisces. That is delusional energy, one-on-one. That is smooth energy. That is energy that is going to cause you to want to think with your lady parts and your man wands and whatever else you got going on. It's going to deceive you each and every time. So that's why I'm telling you from a space of relatability today when I'm talking about these things, is from what I'm personally dealing with, because I would like for it to be relatable to you on your journey. There we go. Got it. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. All right, here we go. Our soul whisper this morning. What is our soul whisper this morning? What is our soul whisper this morning? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Spirit, what is our soul whisper? What are the lessons that we need to learn for our soul today? What are the lessons that we need to learn for our soul today? Abundance. And it's a fish on here. Okay. So when we think about the fish, this definitely has something to deal with emotions and your intuition. It could also be dealing with something with your creativity. Okay. Now, abundance. Plenty of fish in the sea is what comes to mind immediately as I look at that. And so, oh, I didn't realize I didn't have all my cards in. Okay. Abundance. Yeah. Good morning, Jerome. Abundance is not something we acquire. It is something we tune into. Wayne Dyer. Abundance is mistakenly referred to by many as a culmination of material things, when in truth it is a mindset asking you to appreciate the blessings in your life. Now let's just put a pin there for 1 second, because it's a mindset. Okay, it is a mindset. And where I'm going with that is, I just spoke to you guys for probably about 10-15 minutes about changing your mind about how you interact with other people. That is a mindset. It is a mental shift in how you're thinking. Okay, which is quintessential to growth. All right. This may not sound straightforward, but it is not always easy. Well, you know, hey, did I not just talk about that? It is a process. All right. It is an absolute process. All right. Excuse me. All right. So here we go. In times of personal hardship, it may be difficult to find something to be grateful for, but in these moments, you must remember the small things: your rhythmic breath, a smile from a stranger, performing small acts of kindness for one another. Abundance also can fall victim to comparison. If you constantly measure yourself against others, it will become difficult to see the richness in your own life. Perceiving your life as lacking where you may otherwise observe abundance manifests a greater sense of discontent. I think they meant to say discontentment, but it says discontent. It may sound cliche to suggest that spending time in the practice of gratitude, but being thankful is a core truth that lives in those who experience true abundance. Okay, so you're encouraged today to be plentiful, hopeful, bountiful, and ample. Okay, so again, going back to the statement of what I made about there being plenty of fish in the sea. Okay, understanding that emotions are rapid. Good morning, Gojo. It's about things being emotional, right? Learning these lessons are difficult. It's challenging. It's emotional. Okay. So let's figure out what more can we say about this, because I definitely feel as though this is a challenge to renew your mind. This is a challenge to change how your perspective and how you're viewing things and how you're viewing people. Stop underestimating these small exchanges as being something as simple as it's just a small exchange. No, it's not a small exchange. It's an energetic vibration in which you're allowing yourself to fall victim to things that are not serving you. And gotta recognize that. Stop being curious. You know, like seriously. Curiosity. They say curiosity kills the cat for a reason. Okay, they say curiosity kills the cat for a reason. So don't put yourself in a position to be taken out of your space that you're working so hard to be in. Okay? And that's for me too. I want a peace of mind. Therefore, I cannot offer myself and be subjected to giving myself engagement with somebody who robs me of my peace of mind. I can't be curious about that. You know, I can't be curious about that anymore. I once was, but now I have to realize that these are things that are no longer serving me. And now that I recognize that, I got to be intentional every time you pop up to ignore, decline the call. Okay? I got to. And one thing I will tell you is that those things are going to be so persistent at coming at you, and they get very creative. Okay? They get very creative. So I'm telling you, just because somebody changes their behavior and how they're starting to engage and they're doing things that's not normal doesn't mean that they're ready for you. Doesn't mean that they're deserving of you. It doesn't mean anything. When the devil's out to get you, he's out to get you, period. No matter how he shows up, he's going to be out to get you. That is his purpose, to kill, steal, and destroy. And you got to remember that, especially when you know better. And for me, I know better. I know better. But because I'm curious every time, my curiosity sets me up for failure, and I have to learn how to say no. So I'm disappointed in myself because I ain't even make it a whole week and I done already relapsed. But now that I know what my weakness is, I have to be honest enough with myself to know I can't even just be casual. I cannot be casual with this. Okay? So I'm sharing this with you for a reason. Again, Venus is in Pisces. We'll be in Pisces for about the next month. So you got to be careful about your interactions with folks, because things are about to get real wonky, real tricky, and real deceitful. Okay? So just make sure that you're paying attention to the energy that you're entertaining, because it's not always going to be as clear, as simplistic as it should be. Okay? All right, here we go. Earth sign. There's a third party situation with a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Third party situation here with the Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. All right. Thank you, Elizabeth. What is the news? What is the news? What is the news? And it's okay to just simply bless these individuals. It's okay to bless them. You don't have to curse them because you recognize their impact that they have for you, or the impact that they have on you, because that has nothing to do with anything. You know, just still bless them. Because honestly, a lot of times they don't even know what they're doing. This is why it's important for you to understand how things happen from a spiritual perspective, because we're not really fighting against these things that we see in the 3D. We're fighting against these things that we see in the 4D, the 5D, and above. Okay? So, you know, be clear. Be clear. You know, be very, very, very clear about what you're dealing with. And don't allow people to use you. Just like you came in this world with a purpose, other people did too. And it's not always what you think it is. Other people don't even know that they're being used, right? People have attachments to them, I'm telling you. And once you recognize what those attachments are, and you go through the motions of getting that stuff up off of you, you got to pray for discernment. Discernment, true discernment. All right, here we go. What is the news? Lust, greed, bareback, inconsiderate. Well, I kind of spoke to that too. I'm 2 for 2 today. All right. Lust. Many of us are not in love. We in lust with folks. Here go my nose. What is the tea? What is the tea? What is the tea? Can't even shuffle. My hands are dry for one. Karmic friends. Cannot fully trust them. Tension. Secret competition. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So you may be having somebody that's in your life that's a negative friend. Okay, they're here to teach you lessons. All right. You can't trust them. All right. Secret competition. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So that's a mouthful. You can't fully trust them. It's tension there. Secret competition. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Okay. So that, I mean, that's a lot right there by itself. All right. Somebody is in your space that you cannot trust. Period. And it could be you know, sometimes in relationships, your partners can also be in competition with you too. People can be threatened by you. And you can't trust them. You definitely got to be careful about stuff like that too. So there's somebody, it could be a third party situation that is a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, that could be helping exacerbate an issue here. Spirit, what lies beneath all of this? What lies beneath all of this? Even in that song by Tyra B, when she's talking about the one night of pleasure, right? You know, how one night of pleasure can cost you. Being curious can cost you. You got to close the door. You got to close the door. All right, here we go. Putting on a show. Somebody's going above and beyond to put on a show. They're going out of their way to make you feel like it's something different than what it is. Okay? Which is fueling that dream-like state, that daydreaming, because you're curious. When we look into the broken mirror, what do we see? Some people don't know how to be by themselves either. And you just got to learn how to turn it off. Like, seriously, you got to learn how to sit by yourself. Stop running and being around other people all the time and deal with your own stuff. You got to sit with your stuff and figure it out. That's the problem too. A lot of people don't never want to reflect. You don't want to reflect. You don't want to sit with things. You don't want to ascertain where your weak spots are and why are you thinking the way that you're thinking. Why are you feeling the way that you're feeling? Like, you have to practice self-awareness. Secretive, sneaky, mysterious, hiding information. Okay? So you're definitely being cautioned today that you cannot trust somebody specifically in this situation. What is the true emotion here? It's a trap. Promise you. Everything that I told y'all is starting to come up right now in this energy read. Spirit, what is blocking us? What is blocking us? What is blocking us? You got to choose wisely. That's right, Jerome. People are counting on you not being in tune. People are counting on you to be dumb and easy naive. People are definitely counting on you to not be clear. Fated to be alone. Didn't I just say that earlier? You gave up on love because you think that you are meant to be alone, and it is not true. Okay? But you might need to be alone. Hey, sweetie pie, you might need to be alone for a little while. It's okay to go through barren seasons. Look at that tree. Ain't not a leaf the first on that tree. And the leaves are not on that tree for a reason, because it's time for you to spend time alone. Okay? That doesn't mean, hey, welcome. It doesn't mean that you have to be alone forever. You just may need to go through a season where you need to be alone in order for you to grow and to evolve and to become your best self. Stop being curious about things that are not fruitful for your overall well-being. Here goes the burning question here. Do they love you or not? 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 There's an energy between us, a vibe that cannot be denied. So they're definitely giving you the energy. Okay, they're definitely giving you the energy. Now, when we talk about these red, and this is a newer deck, so yeah, I'm gonna look it up. Okay, this definitely romantic feelings. They're hot for you. That's what that means. Okay, that's what that means. So they're definitely having some type of romantic feelings for you. But it's a trap. It ain't good for you. Okay? It's not good for you. Ooh-wee. I think I'm going to stop there this morning. Yeah, I'm going to stop there this morning. Y'all interested in knowing whose business this is? I want to see those drums in the chat. If you're interested in knowing whose business is this, go ahead and put those drums in the chat, because I'm curious to know who specifically does this situation may apply to. Now, as we shift from the overall energy reading, it's important to know that we're talking about the potential energies of the people that are involved. So be careful. Remember to focus on what resonates and leave what doesn't. Don't overlook a message without considering all of your placements of sun, moon, Venus, and rising. Good morning, sun, moon, Venus, and rising. So if y'all ready to get into this business, I need y'all to go ahead and find them drums, and let's evaluate whose business is this. Whose business is this? Y'all ready? Here we go. Whose business is this? Whose business is this? Whose business is this? Welcome, Jamie. All right, here we go. First person, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Okay, girl, I'm trying to tell you, Evelyn. I'm so sick of. We're gonna keep the energy alive and pray it ain't us. Okay. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You're coming in as the Ten of Swords, upright. This is a painful ending, deep wounds, betrayal, loss, crises, failure, collapse, and defeat. Okay, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius coming in with the 10 of Swords. You feel stabbed in the back right now. Okay, the person that you could be dealing with is an earth sign. Okay, so they are a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn coming in with the Queen of Pentacles. This is nurturing, practical, provoking, financially, working as a parent. Okay. All right, so you've been a little bit hurt. So let's just recap real quick before we jump into this tarot reading. Okay. There's a third party earth sign here. All right. So you have an earth sign that's probably dealing with another earth sign. All right. Which means they're highly attracted to this person. Okay. We also have this being a karmic friendship where you can't trust them. You're needing to learn some lessons. Okay. They're very secretive. Okay. They're sneaky, mysterious, hiding information. And right now, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius is like, you know what? Maybe I just need to be alone because I can't seem to get it right. But what this is telling you is to get out your head, get out your head and stop overthinking. All right. You can lead with empathy and understand what you got going on, but you need to stop trying to overthink and overprocess. Look at it as there's plenty more fish in the sea. This person didn't want to be the person that you needed them to be. It's other people out there. Now this Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn is here. They're leading with lust. They have greed bareback. They're very inconsiderate. They're putting on a show to make you think and feel all the things that they're trying to get you to think and feel. But really, it's a trap. They're disingenuous about that. Okay? They don't want you, but they don't want nobody else to have you. And what they're saying is yes, I have romantic feelings for you. There's a vibe here that I can't seem to shake. But it's not really where I want to be. It just feels good in that moment. So it's a very lustful energy. Okay? Which is where you have to be mindful to not get caught up. Don't get caught up. Don't be curious. All right? Now, let's just clarify this because I kind of like already feel this, but I want to just validate what I'm feeling here. And that is spirit. Can you clarify with us with simplicity? Is this a karmic partner? Is this a karmic partner? Yes, it is. It is a karmic partner. It says no here, but I'm going to tell you why I'm saying yes. Because when we talk about this 5 of Pentacles, okay, this is a no card. However, when we see the 5 of Pentacles, there's definitely some type of loss here. And somebody's been left out in the cold, okay? So there is a loss. There's spiritual poverty, charity, and improvement, okay? So I'm saying that I'm going against the card here, but I'm using it because there is a loss. You're at a spiritual loss with this. Okay. And it came out here that there's a karmic friend. You can't trust them. There's tension. So you get what I'm saying? Like, you're being encouraged today to not give any credence to that. Just like how I started out my overall insights and I was talking about how I fell victim to it. You can't be curious. Like, everything that I shared with you leading up to this moment is preparing you to receive this reading, okay? If y'all ready to get into this business, I need y'all to find y'all magnifying glasses, and put them in the chat because we're about to get into this reading. I'm telling you, y'all. I'm telling you. Y'all are being encouraged today to be very mindful of the energy that you keep. I know y'all ain't trying to hear it. It's only the 3rd day of the year. The year started out with WTF, and you about to exactly figure out. Today we on the F part. We're at the F stage. You're effing around and finding out. Here we go.
I should have followed my own. I should have followed my own intuition. I should have followed my own. I knew it. I should have followed my own. I should have followed my own. I should have followed my own. I should have followed my own.
Very mindful, very demure. That's right. All right, Spirit, here we go. What's going on between air and earth signs? Air and earth signs. What is going on between air and earth signs? Air and earth, air and earth, air and earth. I'm telling you, I've been thinking about this for like 2 whole days now. It's like every time I get curious about somebody in the past, they find a way to like make a fool out of me. You know? But if you've ever experienced that before, where like you just get a little bit curious, about somebody from the past, put a black heart in the chat if they find a way to make you feel stupid about it. Just put a black heart in the chat. If they find a way to make you feel like a dum-dum, put a black heart in the chat. I want you to write down in the chat, if that does apply to you, I want you to put down in the comment section, What's before me is greater than what is behind me. What is before me is greater than what is behind me. What is before me is greater than what is behind me. What is before me is greater than what is behind me. And I want us to empower ourselves to take back our power over these instances and being okay with these painful endings. Be okay with walking away, being okay with being at a loss, being okay with understanding that this was not serving me and it's time for me to move on. What is before me is greater than what is behind me. Because if it was meant for you, it wouldn't pass you by. Okay? It wouldn't pass you by. It wouldn't be confused. Remember what I was talking about, curiosity? You deserve somebody that's going to be certain. Okay? You deserve somebody that is going to be certain and clear about it. You wouldn't have to question it. That's right. So, what is before you is greater than what is behind you. And if you didn't have the wherewithal to value what you had in that moment when you had it, then that's a gross oversight of your irresponsibility, right? That speaks to your incompetence, but that has nothing to do with me. Okay? And that's the power that we have to stand in today. It's not my fault you didn't know what to do with it. It's not my fault you wasn't ready. It's not my fault that, you know, whatever their excuse is, right? We're not giving excuses anymore. What is before me is greater than what is behind me. Okay? Now, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, your overall energy is coming in right. Here it is again, this Five of Pentacles in reverse. You're at an absolute loss right now. You're not knowing how to get out of that. Remember, I asked that question and I said, is this a karmic partner? And I said, this is a no card, but I'm using it as a yes card today. There is a loss. Okay, there's a loss here. Now, if you look at this card, this lady is in agony. She's stressed out. Got the key to the door right behind her and is not taking advantage of it. So what this is telling me is that you know what you need to do to free yourself. You're just not even looking at all of the possible options. She's not even looking up. So she's sitting here having a pity party over what is going on, instead of opening up her eyes and looking around her to see that she has the key right here. The key is literally right behind her, right beside her. And instead of her looking and using that key, she's acting like she's in distress about what to do. So this is telling me that you're at a loss right now about what to do, because it's not because you don't know what to do, you don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. You don't want to walk away. You don't want to accept this ending. Walking around here having a whole pity party about what's going on. Okay? Having a whole pity party about it. But the reality is that you know what to do. You have what it takes. So the question is, why are you sitting around here acting like you're confused and perplexed? You know what to do. You know exactly what to do. And it's time for you to move on. But you want to sit and loathe in your own distress. Okay? Which means you're victimizing yourself, essentially. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn is coming in right now as the Ace of Swords in reverse. Okay? They are definitely overthinking things right now. All right? Exactly. Ann says, no room for confusion in my life. So and steady. I know that's right. So you have Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn are over here. They're going into overtime. They're trying to think of ways to how to continuously to put on this show to entrap you. Okay? That's what they're doing. They're constantly going out of their way to come up with a way to entrap you. And let's just be honest. Let's just be honest here. If you are in this situation and you're dealing with this earth sign, have you ever noticed that whenever you start to call them to the carpet on the things that they're doing, they never have nothing to say? They never have anything to say. They don't know how to answer the question. They start to avoid the question. Y'all understand that? They're doing that because they don't want to be held accountable. Queen K, I feel you. Me neither. You know? So, this is starting to become an exercise for Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Because it's like, as per usual, they want their cake and they want to eat it too. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You got to pick one. Either you're going to save the cake or you're going to eat it. But you can't do both. Okay? You cannot do both. And at this point, they're trying to straddle the line. They're trying to straddle the line, which is creating confusion. Their whole effort and energy is predicated upon lust. Okay? Everything here is predicated upon lust. Everything. The pros here. This Three of Pentacles. Okay? You were able to come together. You were able to grow and expand. This was something that made you feel as though you had a future here. So there was definitely something here that was feeding you energetically. This was something that made you feel like there was a possibility that things could work out. And that's what really fed you. Okay? That's what really fed you. And those instances and moments where you felt as though you were getting stuck and entrapped in this situation, you came across where it gave you hope. Okay? It gave you hope. But this person wasn't intentional about what they were giving you.
You've got mail.
Okay? They just simply put, were not intentional. All right? And so this was a false hope. This was a false narrative. Okay? Which is why that kid continued to perpetuate this sense of loss. No one's asking for you to volunteer a lie. No one's asking for you to volunteer a whole narrative that is unfounded and false. Okay? So this person was going out of their way to make you feel one way, only to let you down and to disappoint you on the back end. Okay? This is very deceitful energy. And this is where they were taking advantage of you because you're leading with empathy. So every time they do something to let you down, you're putting yourself in their shoes and like, oh, well, let me just think about it from their perspective. Oh, you understand what I'm saying? So you're doing this to yourself through empathy. Instead of getting out of your fantasies and daydreaming about what could be, accept what is. Accept what is. You're putting yourself in the matrix. You're creating a cord attachment to that person yourself. It's not because you don't have the power and free reign to do it. You're just not doing it. You're just not doing it. The consequence here is it's unfulfilling. It's unfulfilling. You're feeling disappointed and let down every single time. Every single time. You know why you're disappointed and being let down every single time? Because their response and reaction to you is disingenuous. It's disingenuous. They're not being honest. If you know what that feels like to be disappointed by a person that you so much so love and is interested in, I want you to put down in the chat, I operate with clarity. I operate with total clarity. I operate with total clarity. I operate with total clarity. Because we're no longer going to sit here and accept this hot, cold, in and out, confusing energy. It's not real. Anybody that's coming into you in your life like this, Grand Rising, Anybody that's coming into your life like this is coming to wreak havoc. And we are operating with total clarity. We are operating with total clarity. And I don't care if you have to tell yourself that every day, every other day, every other week, every 5 minutes. I operate with total clarity. What is before me is greater than what is behind me. You got to take back your power in this. What this is trying to teach you, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, this is not a soulmate connection. This will never give you the benefits of what you're hoping to achieve. This person is unintentional at every aspect of this relationship. They're not serious. This is an unserious person. This person is unserious. They're never going to give you what it is that you're looking for. They're never going to give that to you. They're prying themselves on playing games with you, causing confusion. They want you long enough so that they can get what they want from you sexually, because this is about lust. Okay? So this is about greed, bareback, and inconsiderate. They're putting on a show. Okay? They're deceiving you with full intentions of keeping you on a hook, knowing that they have no intentions on materializing and evolving into the person that you're looking to be with. They're doing this on purpose. And it's time that you wake up and realize that this is an intentional disappointment. They're doing this on purpose. It's something about you that they want. It's something about you that, and they don't even recognize it. Okay, so this can be a karmic tie from, I know this is probably going to be real confusing to people who aren't this deep, and that's not my intention, but let me just explain to you. In the astral plane, okay, so we're talking about the 5D and above, okay? When people come into this world, you come with soul missions, right? This is where soul contracts and soulmates and all this stuff linger out there. Just like you have predestined relationships like soulmates and things like that, like your families and all of that, you also have people that are attached to you from the negative spaces as well. And this definitely feels like this is one of those connections where you're having you have someone in your life that their assignment was to be manipulative and to be deceitful. Okay? And I know it doesn't make sense, and I know that we don't want to receive that. I know that it's hard for us to believe that, but it's very much so possible that people come into your life with the intention of wreaking havoc. And that's exactly that's their assignment. That's their whole lesson. It's to come and wreak havoc in your life. Again, we don't fight against flesh and blood, but principalities and rulers of darkness. What do you think that means? What do you think that means? These are things that are not seen in the physical eye. Okay? So Jamie says, I think we go through things to grow. And that's absolutely correct. That's absolutely correct. And that's what I was saying in the beginning of this reading during the insights period. Okay? So that, we're being challenged to grow. I love that. Ann says, I operate in a conscious manner and rebuke all negativity and deceitful behavior. I know that's right. You know what? Put down in the chat, my spiritual eyes have 20/20 vision. 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 It's time that we own that we have clarity. We own that we have clarity. We know exactly where we're going. We know exactly what we're doing. We know exactly what we're feeling. Open your eyes and pay attention. Open up your eyes and pay attention. That's all I'm telling you guys. Everything that I've told you guys for the last hour and 15 minutes, even though it's coming from a personal perspective, I'm telling you how subtle deceit can creep up into your life and wreak havoc. You can't give benefit of the doubt. You can't. You can't. Because every time you give benefit of the doubt, what happens? They find a way to make a fool out of you. And then you're angry again. And you're disappointed again. But who are you really angry and disappointed with? If this person showed you who they are, do you not believe it? So are you really angry and disappointed with them, or are you more so angry and disappointed with yourself? Put down in the chat if you feel like you're in a season where you're going to be more intentional about passing this lesson. Say, I am mastering this lesson. I am mastering this lesson. Put that down in the chat. I am mastering this lesson. Because I truly believe that until we get to a space where we can master this lesson, I don't think that for some of you, not all of you, are you going to, have you really mastered your lesson? You're not going to come across the person who is really meant for you, because you can't give way to people who are not for you. You understand what I'm saying? You can't give credence to somebody that's not for you. I am mastering this lesson. I am mastering this lesson. You got to grow through what you go through. And the only way to grow through it is to master the lesson. And that's what this is trying to teach Gemini, Libra, Aquarius today, is that this is not a soulmate connection. This is not a partnership. You're never going to get what you're putting into it out of it. It's never going to manifest for you that way. This is one of those connections that it is what it is. It's not a healthy connection. It's not a fruitful connection. It's none of those things. So stop trying to make it something that it's not. Stop giving it benefit of the doubt. Stop giving it way. Stop allowing this in. Say no. You got to learn how. You got to tell them no. You got to say no. You got to say no. This is one of those instances where this is not going to ever work for you, period.
You having an unnatural allegiance to losers is not like you.
You can't do it no more. You can't do it no more, okay? You got to learn how to master this lesson. What you need to do to heal is stop trusting a person who is being very calculated in how they're moving. For them, this is chess. You still over here playing checkers. Okay? They know exactly good and doggone well what they're doing. They cannot be trusted. You cannot trust it. It's like trusting a snake to wrap around you and not to bite you. I don't care if this is your pet snake or not. Okay? You can't allow somebody to come into your life, take up space when they've shown you who they are time and time again. Why don't you believe them? That's that wishful thinking. That's that wishful thinking. You sitting up here wishful thinking, hoping, praying, wishing, hoping, praying, wishing, hoping, praying, wishing, and then that's why you're getting hurt every single time. This person is deceitful. This person is never going to own up and become the person that you expect for them to grow up to be in. If this person was serious about you, if this person cared about you, if this person was intentional about you, they wouldn't have fumbled the bag. Period. Period. They wouldn't have fumbled.
I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is.
Okay? You can't. You can't. It's simple. You can't. It's time to cut off all these old relationships. Stop trying to make people who they're not. They've shown you who they are. Get out your head. Stop daydreaming. You have other options out there. And it's time to focus on the other options that are out there. Because you will never know what is a better option if you're not even honestly considering it. The Ace of Swords. The Eight of Swords, excuse me. I feel as though Gemini, Libra, Aquarius is finally starting to wake up and realize that they have put themselves into this prison, this mental agony of being in denial and being resistant. I do feel like Gemini, Libra, Aquarius is going to start pulling back their power, right? And I do feel as though they are going to start owning the fact that they have a role to play. They have a stake in this. Like, they definitely have done, they've enabled this person to take advantage of them. Okay. Realizing that I've done it to myself. And that's where this energy, like this loss, is coming in too. It's like, I'm disappointed with myself. I'm hurt and disappointed with me. I know it's over. This person has stabbed me in the back so many times. I know it's over. But I'm still curious. I'm still in love. I'm still over here trying to like make sense of it all. And this is where you got to take back your power. Take it back. It's going to be a struggle for a while. It's going to be difficult. Every time you think about this person, you got to shut it down. I release those things that no longer serves me. You got to fight for your sanity. You got to fight for a peace of mind. And no, it don't feel good. And you got to be gentle with yourself. Be compassionate and gentle with yourself. Because there will be times where you're going to feel like, what the freak is happening to me? It's okay to feel that way. It's okay to grieve. Grieving is a natural physiological response to loss. There's like 10 different types of grief out there, if not more than that. And for you, this may be what they may call like an ambiguous grief. It's something that you don't have closure to. And you're probably not going to ever get it from this person. And we've spent an insurmountable amount of time talking about closure here and why closure is important. Okay, so this may be one of those instances, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, where you're never going to get the closure that you're looking for because you can't trust the source. They're going to tell you whatever they want to tell you to keep you lured in. This person cannot be trusted. It is a trap. Anytime you open up the door to give space and opportunity to this person, know that they're going to do whatever they got to do to entrap you. They're going to do whatever they got to do to put on a show. Because they're never going to become more than what it is. Exactly. You're hurting yourself. And here it is. You still hoping, praying, wishing that something new is going to come of this. It's not. You got to stop thinking with your lady parts. You got to stop thinking with your man sticks. Okay? That lust is here. It's real. It look good. It feel good. It's exciting. But that's all it is. That's all it is an exchange of sexual energy, which can still keep you entrapped. That's how you get soul ties and everything else attached to you. Okay? You just end up hurting yourself. But I feel like Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, y'all still holding out hope. That something's going to change. Remember what she said in the song? I'm still in love. Hold on. Let me go back to it. She said, everything has changed. Will it always? And I know that it's all my fault. One night of pleasure really cost me. I know I'm so wrong. This time the tables have turned. I found a really good man. Now I got to let it burn because I'm still in love. Okay? But where I want to put an emphasis is, and I know that it's all my fault. One night of pleasure really cost me. I'm the one that's so wrong this time. You're wrong when you allow people space and opportunity to do this to you. You're the one that's creating the confusion. It ain't them. It's you. It's you. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius are always in their mind. Always thinking. Overthinking most times. Okay? So you are very well aware. You've analyzed every possible outcome. And you know that you're disappointing yourself. But for some reason, you're stuck on stupid and parked and dumb when it comes to this person. And it's because of a sexual soul tie. You got to be careful who you're sleeping with. You don't know what people practice. You don't, I'm telling you. Let me take a pause right here and just say all of what I'm about to say. And I hope that you receive it with love and kindness. Be careful who you go to and seek spiritual guidance from. Be careful about these different readers that you're going to. Be careful about what information you're receiving and accepting, because you don't know what side they're coming from either when they're telling you this. Okay? Not everybody shares the same beliefs. Not everybody shares the same insights. Okay? It's a good and a bad and everything. There's duality that exists. Okay? So, you will know where to get your information from based on how it feels for you. Okay? But I'm telling you this because there is a large business that benefits, okay, from keeping people in false hope. Okay? And one thing I'm never going to do is be irresponsible and tell you something that I don't feel that is true. You got people that's out here that they're making buku dollars off of feeding lies, confusion, keeping you entrapped. So every time somebody says something or does something, you got to keep coming back to them to get more information. They make money off of that. Okay? And I say they because I'm not going to sit up here and give you a false narrative. I'm never going to do that because that's wrong. False hope equals manipulation. It really does, and it really does. I'm telling you, it was a whole story. If you don't believe me, it was a whole story on NPR just last week that was talking about how their heartbreak seminars and stuff like that, charging people thousands of dollars to try to help you heal. It's a big business. It's a big business not only in a psychic divination spiritual space. It's a big business in churches. It's a big business across the board. It's nothing wrong with you paying for the things that you truly believe are going to be beneficial to you. What I'm telling you is be careful about where you're getting your information from. Okay? Be careful. And I'm telling you this because I'm somebody who believes, and I go and I pay people and right? And I'm telling you, I had to pay this one girl just to tell her to stop lying to people. Hey, Kathleen. I sure did. I told her, I said, you need to stop lying to people and creating false narratives because everything that you said is false. And you could tell where she got defensive, right? Because she was like, well, if you weren't lost or confused, you wouldn't be calling me. I said, no, I'm calling you to tell you that you need to stop lying to people. You're making buku dollars lying to people and defrauding people. They don't care. It's a business for them. They're going to tell you whatever you need to hear. So I'm just telling you this to encourage you to be careful about where you're getting your information from. I know that delivery sometimes can be harsh, but listen, you ain't paying nobody to keep you warm and fuzzy. You paying somebody to tell you the truth. Okay? You're paying to get the truth. All right, so let's clarify. I know she was mad at me. Because then she tried to blame it on the angels. Talking about something, well, I don't know why your angels are withhold. I said, don't blame this on the angels. See, you expected for me not to know what the word says. The angels have charge on me. They're supposed to keep me from things that are not working for me. They're supposed to keep me from things that are not serving me. So why would you sit there and tell a lie like that on my angels? When that's their only job is to protect and serve me. I'm just telling y'all. You got to know. You got to know. They will give you false hope in a heartbeat just to keep you sucked in. Just like God got a team of people, of angel armies. You don't think Satan has a team of people that he can use to manipulate you? His sole job is to steal, kill, and destroy. That's his sole job. That's his only job in life, is to keep you confounded and confused. That's why I tell y'all all the time when y'all ask me questions about people, if you have a question, you're not operating with clarity. If you're not operating with clarity, that means it is not for you. Because God does not give you the spirit of confusion, but of peace. He empowers you with sound mind. And if you're confused, you're not operating with sound mind. It's not sane. But y'all don't like me when I tell y'all the truth like that. I'm mean. I'm picking on you. No, I'm just empowering you. You got to be clear. You got to give yourself permission to be clear. Don't look for clarity and then don't want to receive it. Because even in this instance, what I'm telling you, you've already seen it. You've already experienced it. You already know. I'm just confirming what you already know. Don't you start. Go sit down. Stinky Pete. All right, here we go. Your inability to leave this alone is going to cost you your sanity. And all I could do is tell you is this. Make the decision today to not allow somebody to do this to you anymore. You got to cut it off. You got to cut it off. You got to cut it off. And I know that that's coming across from the perspective of Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and these Taurus, Virgo, Capricorns, but that's for everybody. You got to cut off these toxic situations.
Denied.
You got to. You got to. It's time for you to be selfish with your heart. It's time for you to hold on to what you know is true and focus on what you know is true. What's ahead of you is better than what is behind you. The best is always yet to come. That's not the life that we have where you max out early on and you don't have anything else to look forward to. That's what this is talking about here with this fated to be alone card. You gave up on love because you think that you are meant to be alone, and that's not true. Just because this situation failed with this person doesn't mean that every other person that you come in contact with is going to be a failure. This was a lesson. This was a lesson that you had to learn. It's called Still in Love by Tyra B. You got to recognize that you are the culprit of your own problems. We have free will. That's one thing about God. We got free will, sugar. Whatever you say you want, remember, we talk about this. We haven't talked about this in a while, but we have talked about this. There's the divine will and there's your will. So when you choose to do things that's outside of what God is telling you to do, then you take full ownership and accountability and responsibility for what he told you to do. There's consequences to it. But just like when you do what he tells you to do, there's consequences to that too. They're positive and negative. Duality exists across the board. Duality exists across the board. Yes, he's going to be there to pick you up when you stumble and all of that stuff. But you still got to deal with what comes with making a poor decision. And you guys are learning how to deal with the fallout of your poor decisions and bad choices. It don't feel good. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you that it will, because it won't. Some lessons are hard for you to learn. And this is one of them. Leave this person alone. They do not have your best interest in mind. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about your thoughts. They don't care. I mean, I don't know how many other ways to say it. They don't care. They don't care. They're going out of their way to keep you confused and confounded. That's what it's saying here, and I'm reiterating that. And if you don't believe me, go back and watch the beginning of this reading on YouTube once I'm finished. Because I shared in the beginning how that I just learned this lesson myself. I just saw what was causing me to be deceived. It's my curiosity. And what I'm telling you is get out of your head, get out of your mind, stop being interested or curious in what this person is saying, thinking, and feeling. Don't care. You regret, oh, poor little tink tink. You regret how you treated me. I'm sorry. Sounds like a personal problem. I'll pray for you and keep it moving, but that's about as good as it's getting. This person is very disappointed. Okay? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, you are hurt by this. You are very hurt by this. You don't know how to process the fact that it's time for you to let this alone. It's time for you to be selfish. Stop giving a care about what they're doing and what they got going on. Stop trying to what you mean, Jerome? Tell him to the who? The Lou? This is going to be very challenging for you to not care, right? Who cares if they coming around with the woe is me? Correct. So Ann said, someone who is truly grateful shows remorse in a consistent change in behavior. And that's absolutely correct. But remember what I also said too. They're going out of their way to put on a show to make you feel like they've changed. But the reality is they have not changed. So what I'm saying is close the door and move on, period. Okay, just close the door. Don't give them a pathway to come in and to leave you confused and confounded, because it's deceptive energy. It's deceptive. They're trying to lure you in. They're trying to attach you. They're trying to pull you in. It's not real. Yeah, they got an energy that can't be denied. They don't even know exactly. They're keeping the hooks in you. Exactly. I just told y'all I did a cord cutting ceremony this week on the 31st. I said, I'm not taking no more energy. I don't care where it came from. If it's not serving me, I want it gone. So I went to the Sharma, and I did a cord cutting ceremony that was infused with Reiki. This lady told me one person had 3 fish hooks inside of me. 3. and told me where they were. They want you hooked for a reason. Okay? They want you hooked for a reason. They want to stifle you. Correct. Correct. Fishing for locked instability. Yeah. Yeah. But what you want me for? You understand? You got to ask these questions. What do you want me for? What is it that I offer you that you just can't resist? Because if there was something in me that you can't resist, you would act like you want to keep it. And all I've been telling y'all this whole reading is that that is the same energy that this person is operating with. They don't want you, but they don't want you to move around. And it's time to cut it off. Anne says, can't have the benefits without the responsibility. Exactly. And a lot of people are out here being real irresponsible with how they're showing up and loving people. And I'm telling you to stop giving credence to people who are unintentional and disingenuous about their connections to you. Because if this person was serious about loving you, and if you've already said to them, when you did this, you made me feel some type of way, it is their responsibility to apologize in that moment and mean it. That is maturity. Now, I'm sorry you feel that way because that's dismissive. But to say, you know what, baby, I'm so sorry about making you feel like that. That was not my intention, and I'm going to work on trying to change that. Because that was not how I perceived that was to make you feel. That's true. That's real apologies. That's real. That's true behavior modification. Because they're going to start saying, I'm mindful about how I'm treating this person. Because I care about their feelings. I care about their emotions. Most importantly, I care about how they're perceiving me. Okay? That's a person who truly cares about you. But some of these little raggedy who don't care about you, they don't care about what you think about them. You know why? Because they don't care about you. They only want what they want from you. And that is that energy of this person that is here. They don't care about you. They want what they want, and that's it. That's it. They want you for sex. They're sexually attracted to you. That's it. It's lust, it's greed, it's bareback, and it's inconsiderate. That was the very first card that came out for them. What about that don't you get? They're nurturing you just to disappoint you. They're nurturing you just to hurt you. Hey, Kim. They're warming you up just to neutralize you. Didn't I tell you that Satan looks to steal, kill, and destroy? They want to neutralize you so that they can attack you. If you're not being clear and knowing what you're dealing with, you're going to let them in. And I'm telling you, stop letting them in. Don't care about what they're feeling. Be selfish. Don't care about what they're saying to you, how they're saying it. I don't care if they bought you a Christmas gift. They probably repurposed it anyway. Cut your losses and move on. It's time for you to know what you want and deserve in life. You got the King of Swords upright, clarifying the King of Swords in reverse. You got to know when to cut your losses. You got to know how to walk away from the things that are not serving you. You know what you want in life. You know what you think you deserve in life. Right? If you know this ain't it, then why are you allowing this person to do this to you? Ain't that much love in the world that you continue to allow somebody to walk into your life and tear it upside down? Why are you allowing somebody to ransack your life? You know how violated it feels when people have someone to break in their home? I don't wish that experience on anybody. But I remember, and I rebuke this energy into my personal space and yours as well. But I remember when I was about 5 or 6, I was in the first grade. And I remember coming home from school one day with my mom. And she had to use the bathroom real bad. And we had a 2-story, well, actually it was a 3-story house. We had a basement and 2 stories going up. And so we came through the back door. No, we came through the front door that night. And I remember she had to pee so bad. So she went to the bathroom downstairs on the main floor, the half bathroom. And when she went in, the window was, the curtain was flying. And she was like, oh, I didn't realize I left the window open. And then she stepped on the glass and realized that somebody had broken into the house, okay? So she instantly tells me to get back out the house and go next door and call the police. So I did. I remember after the fact how frightened I was to be at home alone. I didn't want to go down in the basement. I didn't want to leave the room. Like, I didn't want to leave my mama's eyesight, okay? It is traumatizing, and it absolutely is traumatizing, okay? So just like how that experience feels to you when somebody comes into your home, like they didn't go in my room, they didn't take nothing. They went into my mom's room, they ransacked her room and things like that. But just how that's a traumatizing experience and how you don't feel safe, okay? Knowing that somebody came into your personal space and violated, just how that's affecting you. If you've ever been in that spirit, in that space, I hate that for you and I rebuke that energy for you. Just like how that feels to you. Good morning, no sleep. Hey, boo. Just how that feels traumatizing to you. Allow that energy to penetrate when it comes to this person in your heart space. You got to be that deliberate and that intentional about blocking that energy. Don't allow this person to come into your space, period. They're disingenuous. All they're going to do is come and steal from you. Let me ask you a question. And I'm not trying to be, anything when I say this. If you know you got a relative that's got sticky hands, are you going to let them come in your house unattended? The answer is no. Because you know they're going to take from you. You could have your eyes on them the whole time. You looking at them the whole time like, what you doing, Cheryl? Cheryl, what you doing? Where's your hands, Cheryl? Put your hands where I can see them, Cheryl. I see you. Cheryl, step away from the refrigerator. Cheryl, put down the extra candy. I said you could have 1. You took 3. Put them down. You're not going to do that. So why would you allow this person to stay coming in your personal space, playing in your face? Why would you keep sleeping with somebody like that? Why would you keep answering the phone for somebody like that? Why would you keep responding to their text message? It's the same principle. This person has traumatized you, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Why do you keep on entertaining them? It's that simple. Accept that they have disappointed you. Accept the heartache. Accept the fact that you are having to move on. Accept it. Part of the reason why you confused is because you lack acceptance of what is. You've been shocked and disappointed all this time. Somebody said earlier, it's unbelievable. I think that was Belinda said it's unbelievable. Yeah, it is unbelievable. But believe it. They've shown you who they are. Believe it. Stop making excuses for them. Stop having empathy for how they grew up and all their past life trauma. Who the hell cares? What about my trauma? What about how you're hurting me right now? Just stop it. You use the right word, disbelief. Do y'all know the difference between unbelief and disbelief? Do y'all really know the difference? When you're in unbelief, you don't want to believe. You don't know how. It's a struggle to believe. But when you're in disbelief, you just ain't gonna believe it at all. You're rejecting the truth. I know that's right. Jamie said, what is before me is greater than what is behind me. No, I did not, Kathleen. I'm sorry. You know, TikTok filters things. So I'm telling you, okay, it's time for you to take your power back and to focus on the things that are pure and the things that are true. And that is knowing that what is before you is greater than what's behind you. You're not still in love. You're not in denial. That night of pleasure is going to cost you. Leave this person alone. Don't victimize yourself. Put that down in the chat. I am no longer victimizing myself. I am no longer victimizing myself. I am no longer victimizing myself. Yep. You thought this was going to be a happy home. You thought this was going to be the love of your life. You thought that you were going to be able to be, you know, stable. You thought that this was what you've manifested. You thought that this is what you hoped and prayed for and wished for. And that's why you're disappointed. I am no longer victimizing myself. You thought a lot and you thought wrong. You thought wrong. I am no longer victimizing myself. I'm no longer allowing you space and opportunity to come in and make a fool out of me and make me feel like dookie. All right, let's go ahead and close this reading out because I know this was a hard one, but let's go ahead and close this reading out and shift over to the final outcomes. Now, when we shift to final outcomes, I'm going to say potential because I can't override free will. If you don't like it, you can do something about it. You can change it, right? I can't predict free will. I can only tell you what the energy is saying. And I can only tell you what I see. Okay? Final outcomes. What are the final outcomes, Spirit? I am no longer victimizing myself. And I'm telling y'all, I know what I'm telling y'all this morning sounds so harsh. I know it does. But I'm telling you about how it just happened to me. And when it happened to me, I said, now, girl, what the hell is wrong with you? You know better. You know better. You know better. You know what it is. Stop acting like you don't understand. You understand. I knew exactly what it was. That's how I was able to label what it was. That's why I said earlier in the beginning of this reading, if you don't believe me, go back and watch it. That's why I said, good morning, Belinda. That's why I said this morning, self-awareness is important. You got to sit with your feelings and think about it. And when I thought about it, I said to myself, that was nothing but curiosity. That was nothing but curiosity. Talking about you can kill a person with kindness. Yeah, you can. But all you're going to do is upset yourself. Don't do it. Ain't nobody asking you for your insight. You ain't got no man, no kids, no nothing. Go sit down. That's why I'm telling you guys. You know the answer. Kathleen said, I was married 12 years and I'm still dating my ex-husband. Seem like I can't. You need to go do a cord cutting ceremony, Kathleen. I'm telling you. Because after I went to that, and that was my first time doing it, okay? That was my first time doing it. I decided to go and get a cord cutting done because I decided that I am just tired of feeling like I'm stuck. And I'm glad that I did. I am glad that I did because I was honest with her. You know, again, you have to trust the spirit and where the spirit is going to lead you. Okay. Thank you, Belinda. I appreciate it. You definitely have to trust the spirit is going to lead you in the right place. Right. And so this is a place that I trust. Okay. And I went and I honestly, I'm going to tell you what I was honestly expecting. And I'm going to tell you why I struggle. Okay. So I'm just being honest. I am very much so cognizant of witchery, right? And I try to stay away from witchery, okay? And what I'm classifying as witchery is when people do things with herbs and things like that to like spell work, okay? I don't do that at all, right? And I know that there's a misconception about what I do and what I don't do and all of that, right? So I've always stayed away from that. I'm aware of what it is, but I stay away from it, right? And so I try to stay away from said witchery, okay? So in my understanding of it, because I've heard about it, you know, a cord cutting, I was like, okay, let me go see what it is. And my understanding of it, it's always been with candles, right? And they do things with they dress the candles and with herbs. See, that's stuff that's beyond me, right? I have no interest in that. So I was like, okay, I feel like it's something that needs to be resolved, okay? So I was expecting for her to like do something with some candles, right? Candle magic is what they call it. But she did not do that, okay? She didn't do anything with candles at all, okay? She literally did a Reiki session, all right? She literally did a Reiki session. When she did the Reiki session, I literally could feel the inner, and I've had Reiki before, right? So I'm more of a holistic, you know, spiritual practitioner type of thing. She did a Reiki session. When I promise you, you could feel it. I could feel the energy open up in my heart. I could feel the energy open up in my back, like in your chakras, okay? I could just feel it. I felt it, okay? When she went down to my feet got cold all of a sudden, and all of a sudden they heated back up. You can feel the energy, okay? When I tell you I felt so light and I felt so amazing. You couldn't tell me nothing. I felt like I hit the lottery. All day long, people just kept talking to me. And I was just like, why does everybody keep talking to me? Like, I'm in Walmart trying not to forget what I came in here for. And I'm just walking up and down the aisle. Excuse me, ma'am. I mean, full-fledged conversations. And me, just being me, I'm going to entertain you. But it's like, ma'am, I really don't care about what spice you putting in your chili. I'm just trying to remember what I came in here for, right? And so all I'm saying is I felt the freedom. And when I'm telling you, that's when I discovered, okay, that person had 3 hooks in me. 3. And she told me where they were. Okay? So I am now having to re-educate myself of whenever I think about that person, I'm basically having to equate that person in my mind as being demonic. Because one of those spirits that was connected to me is connected to a demon. I know exactly who it was. I went to Myra. I don't know where you live, but it's a center here that I go to that is in Roswell. And I've been going there for years for different things. I don't go there not necessarily for like spiritual practices, but I go there for other, like when I say spiritual practices, I mean work such as what I did. I don't go there for that. You know what I mean? But, well, I had not gone there for that. That was my first time going there for that. Okay, yeah. So the place that I went to was in Georgia. But you can go to like a metaphysics, like a spiritual store that they have like shamans or something like that work. They're people who specialize in spiritual light work. You definitely want to go to somebody who focuses on light work, not that dark art stuff. That's why I spent some time talking about be careful about who you go to for readings and things like that as well. You can look up cord cutting and Reiki. Or you can just look up who does cord cutting ceremonies and call them to ask them how do they practice that. Because again, I'm not one who practices anything with spell work. But once I was looking at the candle thing, you know, like what? Reiki, R-E-I-K-I, Reiki. Yeah. So you want to be careful with that. You know, you definitely want to be careful with that, okay? So you have to go to trusted people. But if your spirit don't feel right with it, don't let anybody play with your energy. You got to be careful with who you allow to play with your energy. You have to be careful with who you allow to tap into your energetic fields. Just like God knows, they know too. The devil knows what you want. And again, that's his whole purpose, is to steal, kill, and destroy and keep you confused. Keep you in bondage. Okay? So when we was talking about those hooks that Jerome mentioned, it's true. And when you notice somebody got a hook like that on you, when they got you in their grasp, like this person we talking about here, they're keeping you in bondage. So when you see Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, if you know who I'm talking about with this Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy, when you know them, you got to think about them as being a demon. Period. Because one of the hooks that person had in me was a demon. It absolutely was. You ain't got to tell me twice, Captain. Okay? We see it. We know it. We recognize it. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, it's very much so possible, Kathleen. I would definitely go and have a cord cutting ceremony done. I don't know what state you live in, but I would definitely research and see like if there's somebody who knows what they're doing. Now, granted, you can cut your own cords. I don't recommend it. Look up, Kathleen, where you live. Look up like metaphysics stores near me, and then just see what they have available to you. But these soul ties and stuff are real. And see, even for you, Kathleen, it's even more, I just told you why. Because you got to know what you're doing. And you have to understand that people are going to tell you. You don't want to trust people to give you information on how to do a spell. And the only way that you could do it yourself is through spell work, which is the candle magic piece. That's why. Right? So you don't want somebody telling you how to do something. And that's where a lot of people are getting these spells off of TikTok and doing things like that. And, you know, letting people lead them down the wrong path. So that's why I don't recommend doing it yourself. Because then at that point, you're stepping into a space of the spiritual realm of practicing witchery. That's why. Yeah. I mean, that's just me. That's just my opinion. All of it can be deemed as witchery if you're being honest. But to me, anytime you're taking something to get a result, like when they're doing Reiki, it's none of that. When you're doing Reiki, it's all energetic, right? So it's spiritual, yes. But when you're talking about you got to dress a candle in some herbs and you lighting stuff and you're playing with things like, and even like burning candles can be considered candle magic, right? So you got to be careful with that. Just like right now, I have on my purple third eye Reiki infused candle. I have on one for protection. I have one for spirituality. That can be considered as, yeah, it's true. That's true. Candles with colors mean things. It's true. So you got to be careful with what you're doing. But for Kathleen, for you specifically, you really need to go and do a cord cutting ceremony, because once you marry somebody, you're one with them in the spirit and in flesh, right? So you definitely can possibly benefit from that. So that's why I'm encouraging you to go talk to somebody who can look at it, who has the discernment to tell you what you're dealing with and can give you the right action steps to move forward. Yeah. Yeah, you got to be careful with that. Like, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be funny at all. I share with you guys the things that I'm learning and things that I'm going through. So I don't sound like one of those people who's just you. Yeah. You got to be careful. And be careful specifically if you see somebody with a whole lot of pink and red candles. Pink and red candles specifically. Yeah. Right. Yeah, it is. It's spiritual contract cutting. Yep. I'm telling you. Especially as people who are active with multiple, you never know what people are doing to you. You never know. When people tell you be careful about who you having sex with, that is a real thing. Because you never know who you laying down with and what demons they got and what they're inserting into you. Ladies, that is true. That is so true. Be careful. Because I'll tell you what is interesting. Right after I left, that person reached out to me. Not even within an hour, that person reached out to me. So I'm telling you, be careful. Be careful. All right, final outcome. And that was my first time doing it. So I'm telling you, I just told the lady, I said, it's one person in particular that I'm concerned about, but I want all of this gone. I don't care where it came from. Get it all out of me. Okay? If it ain't for me and for my highest good, get it out of me. Remove whatever it is that is giving me the desire to want that person. I don't want it anymore. That's me taking back free will over my life to say I don't want it no more. I don't want it no more. So yeah, you got to be careful. You never know what people practice. A lot of people practice a mixed bag of things nowadays. You never know what people are listening to on the internet. People are getting all kind of, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. People paying people to put spells on people. People paying people to dress candles for them, and they're practicing magic and don't even realize that's what they're doing. They may not know what they're doing. But if you have insight to know what they're doing to you, you need to get on down. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Those spiritually transmitted demons. Black candles are for protection, spiritual protection. Black candles is not bad at all. Black, white, purple, amethyst color like purple. That's good for like your intuition. You want things that align similarly to like your chakras, right? And how they benefit you. But I burn, now see, for me, yeah, and green is for money, correct. So like, it's certain colors mean certain things, right? For me, because I use my third eye often, because I'm doing what I do, I have to cleanse myself, right? I have to cleanse myself too, because when I go out in public and I'm interfacing with the general public, you don't know what spirits people got on them either. You know, and I don't want to bring that in because I'm already sensitive, right? So I have to cleanse my energy to make sure that I'm protected. Okay? The rainbow one, are you talking about the rainbow one for like your chakras? You talking about like a chakra candle? There's nothing wrong with that one. That's you cleansing all of your chakras. That is nothing wrong with that one. Yeah. Belinda, you asking me a whole lot of questions about this stuff. What do you mean? Cleanse what? Like, it's a lot of ways to cleanse. You can do a salt bath. You can do a regular shower. Like, y'all will be amazed to know how much water can fall under witchery too. Just being honest. Taking a shower can fall under witchery. Because there's water meditations and things that you can do to rinse and cleanse. Just taking a shower. You know? I'm telling you. Yeah. I have holy water. I have sage I burn. I have Palo Santo sticks that I burn. I also make use of my sound bowl. All of those things you can do to cleanse. In addition to burning my white, black, and third eye candle. Incense. Yep. Incense too. Yeah. It's a whole lot of stuff that we do as people on a day-to-day basis that we don't really think about how it ties into spirituality and spiritual practices, which is where I go back to, you don't know what people practice. Because people don't even know what they're practicing. Okay? So again, I stay on the light side of things. I'm not into the dark arts. But remember, duality exists. So just like I'm using, you know, things to benefit me and to protect me, somebody else can use those same things to hurt you too. Just being honest. Okay? So be careful about what it is that you're doing. You know? Just like you can have frankincense and myrrh, you know? You can put that in your essential oils. You know? People use all these things. The Bible tells us it's nothing new underneath the sun. Nothing new underneath the sun. So y'all be laughing when I talk about how I be thinking about the disciples was possibly doing some things, taking themselves to a third planet. That's why they was tweaking in the boat. Y'all think I'm laughing. Y'all think I'm being funny when I say that. But I'm being very honest. Like, it's nothing new underneath the sun. People do those things. You know? They do those things. All right, here we go. Let's close out. You go to Five of Pentacles. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, you're going to make the decision to walk away and leave this person alone. This is the third time the Five of Pentacles has come up in this reading. You're finally going to be leaving this person out in the cold. You finally are understanding this person is not healthy for you. This is a karmic partner. Their focal point is on somebody else, and that other person is likely to be an earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. With this Seven of Pentacles, I feel like you're going to start to feel some type of anxiety, feeling like you're not getting what you're putting into it. This is where this fated to be alone card is coming in, about you giving up on love because you think you're meant to be alone, and it's not true. Okay? The seeds that you're planting will materialize in the best way possible for you when it is time. When it is time for you to come across this person, you will meet this person, you will find out, but you have to master this lesson, which is why we've spent 2 hours now talking about mastering these lessons. Okay? You got to pass the test. What is before you is greater than what is behind you. The best is yet to come. Period. Y'all remember that little meme about God and a teddy bear? and the little girl had a teddy bear in her hand, and God was telling her to give the teddy bear to him. And she didn't want to give the teddy bear to him, but she didn't know that he had a bigger, much larger, fluffier teddy bear behind his back. And the little girl was like, but I love him. It's time for y'all to let go of those old things. You can't become your new self and still carry the old version of you with you. There's an expression in the Bible that talks about not being able to put new wine into old wineskins. You can't take that energy with you on this journey in this new phase of your life. And if you're talking about stepping into this new version of you, you got to be ready to walk in. You got to renew your mind. You got to change how you're thinking about things. Master the lesson. I am this close to changing my phone number. I am this close to changing my phone number. But it ain't going to do no good if I'm just going to pick up the phone and call the same people. Hey, this is my new number. Lock me in. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. You got to focus on nurturing and healing your heart. Focus on you right now. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Don't give attention to anybody else. Find those things that are going to make you happy. Find those things that are going to be building you up and edifying you during this time. It's going to feel very, very easy for you to get sucked in to what everybody else got going on. Suck into you. Focus on you. Don't allow somebody else to come into your life and wreak havoc. Stop looking at what other people are doing. Stop trying to compare yourself to other people. I know right now it's the beginning of the year, so everybody posting he asked me to be his wife. And so good for them. Good for them. Be happy for those that are experiencing true joy. But don't compare yourself to them because you don't know what the heck they got going on. They could be attaching to each other's demons, each other's trauma bonds. Everything ain't always what it seems. So be careful how you compare yourself to others. Don't allow yourself to get sucked into something that may not be true. You got to hit the unsubscribe button. You got to log off. And I'm telling you right now, with Venus being in Pisces, it's going to be a whole lot of mystery and illusions. So don't give credence to that stuff. Here we go again with the Sun card. The Sun card in reverse is clarifying the Sun card in reverse. You are no longer being deceived. You are no longer being disappointed. You're no longer going to be hurt. Once you start focusing on you, you won't have that energy no more. You won't have that energy no more. You'll eventually find somebody who's going to give you what you want. You'll find somebody who's going to love you for you and who's going to give you exactly what it is that you want. There's other fish in the sea. We talked about that. There's other fish in the sea. There's other opportunities out there. Stop daydreaming. Get outside your mind. Stop allowing yourself to overthink and overprocess. You got to stop. You got to walk away from it and cut it off. Cut it off. For me, I'm going to have to tell myself every day until I get tired of telling myself, you can do so much better than what you have been doing. So now I'm being held accountable. You understand what I'm saying? I'm holding me accountable. I'm holding me accountable. I deserve much more than what I've been getting. You know why? Because what's ahead of me is better than what's behind me. My good days are ahead of me. As Paul wrote in the book of in the book of Acts, I'm no longer going to be moved by what I see, but I'm going to be moved by what I know. And what I know is this is an unhealthy attachment. This is an unhealthy relationship. This is not serving my highest good. This is lustful. This is a trap. This person is playing mind games with me. This person is not treating me with the respect and dignity that I deserve. And I'm going to take my power back by refocusing my time and my energy. Every time I think about this person, I'm going to shut that down. Call them out by their name and tell them to leave. Exit my mind. You do not belong here. Exit my heart. You do not belong here. Leave me alone. Call them out by name. Do whatever you got to do. But master this lesson. Angels, do you have any advice for the people who are in this reading? Angels, do you have any advice for the people who are in this reading? Don't be moved by what you see. This person is very deceptive. They're putting on a show to keep you trapped. They can't deny the energy between you because your demon and they demon probably speaking together. You got to stop having conversations with demons in more than one way. Remember, the enemy wraps himself in light just to deceive you. Don't be falling victim to that. This may be a past life relationship, and that may be also why you are feeling like you're stuck to this. Okay? Which is why I recommend you doing a cord cutting ceremony. As I look down and I see 555 across the clock, this is about change. This is about conflict. This is about instability. Okay? Do that cord cutting and watch what happens. I don't recommend you doing it yourself. I recommend you going to somebody who is a spiritual leader who does it. I just talked about that. You may have to go back and watch the playback on YouTube. Good morning, Teach. It's time to cut off these karmic partners and negative relationships. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Bookie. Have a great day, Belinda. All right. You're welcome, Jamie. I needed to hear it too. I got to tell myself this. I just told y'all, in all honesty, I failed the test. I know I failed the test. How did I fail the test? Remaining curious. Gotta say no. Soul retrieval. Deep soul healing with the goddess Isis. Okay? You gotta surrender. You gotta surrender. Go do that cord cutting situation. Heal your soul. You never know how people be attaching to you. For real, for real. People play mind games, for sure. You don't want nobody that's going to be in your space, sucking up all your energy. You got to know. You got to know. You got to be still and you got to know. There's plenty for everyone, including me. The ocean of life is lavish with its abundance. Isn't this interesting that we're talking about the ocean when we got abundance here with the fish, and I said there's plenty more fish in the sea? Y'all remember that? The ocean of life is lavish with its abundance. All of my needs and desires are met before I even ask. My good comes from everywhere and everything, everywhere and everyone and everything. Excuse me. Okay? There's plenty for everyone, including me. There's plenty of opportunities out there for you to find love. There's plenty of fish in the sea. Abundance is surrounding you. Okay? Don't be sitting over here feeling hard on yourself, because in this season you may find yourself being in a space where you have limited options. I'm bored right now. I got no books and no possibles. I am bored. B-O-R-E-D, all caps. Okay? I ain't gonna lie to you. I feel like I'm fated to be alone. But I know it's not true. There's plenty of fish in the sea. What one person ain't gonna do, somebody else will do. But be very discerning about how you proceed to move forward in these connections. Don't allow somebody to come into your life and wreak havoc. Now that you know what this person is up to, now that you understand what their potential is, now that you understand what their energy is, you have the power to change it. So what you gonna do about it, sugar lumps? All right? So I'm going to get out of this read. I know that this was a hard read. It was very blunt and very straightforward. But it needed to happen. It needed to occur. We needed to have a real family emergency meeting conversation. All right? So with that being said, I'm officially logging out of this business. I want to thank everybody who stopped by today. Thank you for your patience. I know that it may be a little bit difficult for you to find me because I'm playing games with Tickety Talk right now. So I know that we didn't have the full audience that we normally would have, but I'm still appreciative of your time this morning. Okay. Remember, okay, make sure you go and follow me on YouTube at Mimi Lightseer. That way you can go back and bookmark this reading, go back and listen to it, comment in the section. Let me know how these messages are resonating with you. Subscribe. Okay. Cause if we cannot get, if these people don't want to play fair in the sandbox, I will take my toys somewhere else. Okay. So remember that you can replay this read at any time. Okay. You can bookmark it. So make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to the YT channel. All right. Thank you to everybody who's been listening on YT this morning. All right. Now, all right. A huge thank you to all of y'all that participated in today's conversation. I want to welcome all of my new subscribers and followers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Most importantly, I want to thank y'all for gifting me with your time, talent, and your treasures. So shout out to my gifters today. I had 3 of them, all right? I know that this is not an easy journey to be on. All of us are learning these critical life lessons, but I'm telling you this. I'm coming from a space of relatability and empathy. I know exactly how it feels, and I'm telling you, shut off that curiosity. All right, turn it off. It's time to let go of these things that are no longer serving us, and it's time for us to cut the cord. No more. All right. So with that being said, I'm officially out of y'all business. Y'all have a beautiful Friday, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.